everyone. How you doing? It's Tom Numbers. I've got Matt Geiger back in the house with me. Well, he's in his what does that say? ELF? EFF? EFL?
EFL. It's actually it's an online sports league. I'm not a part of it, but I did some work with them at one point.
EFL, it's in the game.
Yeah, EFL, it's in the game.
EFL, it's in the game.
Anyway.
That's the English Football League as well.
There you go. Okay.
So, yeah.
Yeah, it was Team North Korea, so I have the North Korean flag colors.
Ah.
It was a golf tournament, and everybody's like, oh, we're going to be Team USA, Team USA. I'm like, you know what? We'll be Team North Korea.
Yeah. There you go.
Yeah.
Rocket Man. So
Rocket Man.
Cool, buddy. Well, I mean, the elephant in the room is inauguration. Happened yesterday.
Yeah, I watched it.
Don got back in.
He didn't put his hand on the Bible is the big takeaway from a lot of the truthers out there.
Yeah.
Which I found.
And was he? I was counting it. So they said, "Oh, he's going to start at 11:47," and I was like, "Hang on, that's." I think Biden did the wonky time last time, and then JD Vance was on at 12, and then President Trump was at 5:50. I think the guy doing it spoke to Donald Trump literally as it went from 12 noon to 12:01, and then during 12:01 they did the whole spiel, and he was in by 12:01. So,
and what are they trying to do now?
They're Derek Johnson yet, so I don't know what he said on that, but
I think they're trying to drum something up that he somehow is illegitimate because he did it at 12:01 or.
So then they might. So the lefties might come up with that, and then they'll be like,
"Yeah,
what did Biden do?"
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
But I've heard somebody's telling me about some negative things about Graham. What's his name?
Lindsey Graham.
Not Lindsey Graham. The pastor.
Oh, I'm sure there is. I'm sure there is.
It's like. I hear stuff about these people. I'm like, I don't know what to believe. I'm not going to go start judging people, but man, it must be like everybody is compromised. Everybody.
I'm sure it is. I mean, I'm sure they are. Yeah.
And then the ultimate troll moment where Trump puts a desk in front of 20,000 people and signs executive orders. That is trolling level 1 million right there.
Yeah. I thought that was great, and the other thing with that, I was like, because he made a point saying everything starts and finishes in the Oval Office, and then I was like, he's signing executive orders in a stadium, in an arena. Has that ever been done before? Will they come back and say, "Oh no, that should have been signed there"?
Right,
done here,
right.
So I don't know. It's like another piece to it.
Well, it looks like we're going to have to go after the 2020 stuff, right? We won't say.
Yeah, that still has to be sorted out, doesn't it?
Yeah, because from what I'm hearing, you got to kind of unravel that and get to the bottom of that so that you can reverse the executive orders that Biden did. He pardoned Fauci, he pardoned all these people.
Yeah.
But I mean, there's also questions about the legitimacy. I mean, my legalese on this stuff is limited, but it's nice. Yeah. We're all getting the best civics lesson money can buy, right?
I know, we're all getting schooled in it. Yeah. Yeah.
But overall, I enjoyed it. It was nice. I think the ceremony afterwards. I don't really watch that stuff, but I went out afterwards for a little bite to eat. And my friend Lanice is a riot. I always called myself the #1 Trump supporter until I met my friend Lanice. She's in there with her 47 hat, her Trump T-shirt. She's in a bar restaurant, sitting at the bar next to me, watching the ceremony. All the boring stuff that no one's really into. She's just loving it. Just celebrating his. Yeah. It was cute, but she's more of kind of a mainstream gal, whereas I think you and I tend to be more in the weeds, which is where I like to be, In
the weeds, with the sunflower, with the huge oaks in the weeds. There you go. Yeah. The trees. 48, Tom. We're in the trees in the weeds. I know what you mean. Yeah, but. So what, she was watching it after the ceremony? So she was watching all the chatter after he'd been sworn in, you mean?
Yeah, just like the marching bands, like all the stuff that's like, it's like watching a Thanksgiving Day parade, it's like
Okay, yeah.
who
I
watches
must have
this
missed
stuff?
some of that. Yeah, I saw him sworn in, and then I saw the prayers, the Cumberbatch benedictions, and then they walked out, and then whatever it was, the news goes to another piece, and and then I saw him speak. I caught the tail end of when he went downstairs and spoke, and then I watched obviously the bit in the arena, and then when he was in the desk in the White House. He said Stranger Things. Are you a fan of the TV show Stranger Things?
I really liked it. I watched the first season, and then the guy who plays, I guess, the dad. That guy's a weirdo, man. That guy is absolutely part of the cabal. I mean, that guy came so strong, and then they did that thing where they all came out on stage against Trump, and I'm like, to hell with these guys, Like, you made a good show, and they just came out in some thing where they're, we're not going to be, we're not going to be intimidated. Those people,
Who was
years
that?
ago.
That was the writers, the producers of the show.
The whole cast, everybody. They won some award, Grammys, music, whatever that award is.
Okay.
They won it for TV show, and they all come out on stage. This was like 5, 6, 7 years ago.
Okay.
And they all come out on stage and they're bashing Trump. I'm like, oh.
Last time was it the last time? I think it was the last time I was in Utah. I was at my mate Todd's house, and maybe it was the time before that. And I watched, I think, the series. Kind of want to crap. No offense, Todd, but your TV wasn't the best, and it was kind of a bit patchy. So I kind of watched it, but not watched it. I think I watched the first one, but I need to. If I was to watch it now, it'd be like watching a proper show again. But the thing that Trump said, what's that?
I was just going to say, I didn't mean to interrupt, but giving credit where credit's due, it was actually a very good show.
Yeah. So my baddie Matt Letitia, the truth to hear I guess he's more of the freedom movement, but we're all fighting for freedom, justice, and the English American way, the world way. But he told me a few months ago he's been watching that show, and he said there's this bit about where there's like a mirror of kind of what's going on above and below. Anyway, the reason I mentioned is President Trump said they asked him a question in the Oval Office, and he said, and he smiled and he went, "Stranger things have happened." I was like, he just said Stranger Things, so I need to go and watch it. And I was like, and maybe that's a reference to them bashing him. But he said the TV show's name. He went, "Stranger things have happened." I was like, okay, there you go. So
the Upside Down World.
I've got to watch that, huh?
Yeah, what you're referring to is the Upside Down World. That's actually what I refer to. I actually refer to that in like conversations with people. I'm like, this is the Upside Down world. Like, we're living in that other hellish, whatever it is, realm.
So when you said everyone's compromised, there's levels of everything, isn't there? And so if we're in hell, which there's a possibility we might be. I mean, if we're in a dome, under a dome is 37 in numbers. Hell is 37 in numbers, and everything dies, doesn't it? It's like why would God make something that dies? It's like maybe this is hell. Tony Pulis, a friend of mine, is ex-Premier League football manager. I bumped into him serendipitously just before Christmas, and he was telling me one of his mates is convinced that we're in hell. And I've thought about that theory before, but maybe that's the whole thing of going from dark to light. Maybe hell is no more, and it gets transformed and it upgrades. And I was doing my live earlier today, and I was just kind of reminiscing on yesterday, and different things were coming. And I said the Matrix is going to upgrade soon. And literally, as I said that, a car drove past me, and I caught up with it a little bit later and took the picture of the number plate. But I saw the number plate; it said JFK, clear as day and it's on my Telegram and on Twitter. You can see the car that went past me, and I posted it, put it next to each other So it was at the end of the video. I said the Matrix is going to upgrade soon. Elon said that, and literally, as I said it, this JFK number plate went past. I was like, okay, I got the comms, And Trump looked a bit JFK-ish yesterday, a little bit.
Somebody did a side by side, yeah.
Yeah, he did.
Could have been my plate. My plate's actually JFK Jr. on my car.
Is it? Well, Kathy's, Kathy, Kat. So her car is similar. She's got, I think hers is JFK Jr. or it's something JFK as well. I think it's easier for you guys to choose your plates than it is.
Yeah.
You can make them, but it seems I've noticed that in America, far more people have are able to get plates made.
Yeah, you just go down to the registration place and you can do it in 5 seconds.
Yeah, so here it's a bit more. Yeah, you don't see it nowhere near as much. But this wasn't a deliberate one. I mean, it was from Universe showing it to me,
Right.
but it was a regular.
Right.
It wasn't a fancy one like your one or Cat's one. It was a JFK. It was just a regular plate, but that's what it was.
Yeah.
And I had
God
other ones. I had my name earlier today, 217 Tom Sidney Bush, and I had that. I had lol, like laugh out loud. I had another one. I've seen XRP before, not recently, but it's funny when you get them. And I was like, okay. But the JFK one, as soon as I say on the live video, the Matrix is going to upgrade, JFK just over my left shoulder, drives past. I finish the video, get out, get the picture, and Bob's your uncle. So,
well, if you've been listening to if you've been listening to Juan lately, these are going to be some really tough months ahead. I mean, I think what's happening is Trump's going to just start to enact his agenda. Like in his first term, in his first 4 years, he didn't really push anything too hard. He just kind of went with the flow of things. Now I think it's like, okay, the country wants to shut down the border. The country wants this. Like we kind of know more what we want now. So he's gonna try to ram through his agenda. But the problem with that is that the more success he has, the more pushback you're going to get from the deep state. Right. So I would expect a lot of instability in banks. Banks are already, like, in my view, the big banks, they've already failed.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I think we talked about
central casting. Central casting's everywhere.
Central casting's everywhere. I think the big banks have already failed. Now it's just a question of, all right, when's the mainstream media going to admit it? Yeah. Right. Because nothing's real until you see it on MSNBC or Fox News.
Yeah.
Right. And I think the problem, from what I'm looking at, everybody's looking at the stock market.
Kim Shady. Hey, Kim.
But Kim Shady. Everybody's looking at the stock market. Stock market is like the dangling carrot, right?
Yeah.
It's what's happening here is it's really about the debt market, right? The debt market is what's about to implode. And what the debt market is like, for example, if you want money, right? If you want to create money, you got to create a treasury bond, right? And you got to get people to buy those bonds. And traditionally, treasury bonds, that's why banks have huge portfolios in these things, is because they're stable, right? Because it's considered one of the safest places to keep your money, because the idea is, okay, what could ever happen to the US dollar? Well, you're about to find out, right?
Mm.
So that's kind of the discussions I have when it pertains to, like, somebody comes in my office. I'm here at home right now, but when somebody comes into my office and we're talking about gold and silver, it's like, yeah, it's I'm looking at different stock portfolios, whether it be IRAs or just straight up brokerage accounts. I look at this stuff and I'm like, yeah, this stuff's going to continue to go up until it doesn't. And it's going to be the currency that we operate in. I mean, where you're operating what, in the British pound?
Yeah.
I mean, you guys, we're all in trouble. We're all going to have a currency collapse. And then what are they going to do? They're going to problem, reaction, solution. They're going to come in, right? Problem, currency collapse, reaction. Everybody freaks out. And then the solution is what? The CBDC. They're already getting us into digital. Everybody's going crazy with these cryptocurrencies. I even have a little position in cryptocurrency that's done very well. But it's like they do it by getting your compliance to do it. So everybody say, oh my gosh, Bitcoin, XRP, it's going up. Better get in. They're really just getting you into their digital prison. The banks already control the cryptocurrencies, right? So they're going to do the same thing to the cryptocurrency system that they did to this system. It's as simple as that.
I think, I mean, there's different ones out there, Bitcoin and XRP, and I'm an XRP fan. I'm not a Bitcoin fan, but we'll see how it all turns out. But I can see there could be some sense if you can back currencies like crypto if it's really backed, and how they do that, I'm not a crypto technical expert on it, but that would make sense, because you don't want to always carry, gold bars or silver bars around you. They're not the most fungible, are they? They're wonderful.
It's to back the money. It's not to actually carry it. Yeah, you're not going to go to the grocery store.
We'll see. It's like, but I think in terms of, I don't know. I mean, I'm an XRP fan. I think I've always.
I am too. It's 5x.
Yeah. What's
4 or 5x? Like 4 or 5x. I'm a huge fan of it for now.
Yeah. No, but I mean for the future, I think it's. I don't, and I haven't. I'm not a. There's plenty of others. I do the numbers. I see what but I've always, XRP and XLM are good. I think are good in terms of the future, but we'll see. Maybe Bitcoin will get pulled. I know, but hey.
Did you watch his debate with Mel Carmine?
No.
Do you know Mel?
I don't get touched to watch everyone's stuff, but there's lots of talking heads, and
Mel's a really interesting guy. I'm actually pretty friendly with Mel. He actually called me the other day, doing an event in March.
Yeah.
And I have some conflicting stuff, and I really want to go to it because he wants me to go down there and be like the gold guy down there. It's in Cape Canaveral, but Mel's a really cool, super knowledgeable guy. He's actually the one that told me back in September when I met him. He's like, dude, you got to get some XRP. So I did. And then you saw it happen, 2 months ago. And I'm like, I called him up. I'm like, great call, Mel, But in his discussion with Juan was that it's like, okay, yeah, I could do what, 3 or 4 trillion transactions a second. Mm-hmm. And kind of the way Juan broke it down was like, yeah, but what if you have something that can do 80 billion transactions a second? It's still good enough. You know what I mean?
And there's so many talking heads in the movement, and
here's my take. Here's my I don't really. Like I said, I bought some, so it's like I have skin in the game. So I'm not like sitting here like, oh, gold. No. I do it all. My only issue with it is that I think it kind of it smells of banker, like the banks control it.
Right.
And that type of stuff. Same thing really with Bitcoin. Same thing with pretty much all of them. I think the real cryptocurrencies are going to be the ones that come out behind this stuff. It'll be the next phase of them. There might be a few good ones. Like I know Bix Weir talks a lot about Theta and Theta Fuel. It's just in the US, Theta is a pain in the ass to buy.
Yeah.
Theta Fuel's easy, but Theta itself, you have to use a VPN, and it's a whole rigmarole to what's up, Jew Man? What's up, Lee? I'm very skeptical of it. And I think, and my whole take on crypto is also that, okay, let's break it down. Most old people don't understand Bitcoin and what this stuff is. Well, 70% of the country's wealth of the United States is held by people over the age of 65.
Yeah.
Right. So how are you going to get consensus, right? Part of money is that you have an agreement between people that this has value for something.
True.
Right. And certainly among the younger generation, younger people will be happy to take Bitcoin. They'll no problem. Yeah. But older folks that hold the majority of the wealth, I think they're going to have a real struggle trying to wrap their head around, okay, what is blockchain? I got to really understand this stuff. And when you don't understand something, what's your natural instinct? You're gonna shy away from it, right? You're gonna be like,
Yeah.
It would be nice to see those people educate themselves and try to get familiar with, okay, what is blockchain technology? Here's the benefits of it.
Yeah.
Right. But there's no stopping somebody from creating Bitcoin 2 or Bitcoin 3. Plus, I don't like the story of Bitcoin. And again, I own Bitcoin and it's shot up tremendously. I bought it at 19 and 20,000. Right. So yeah, you can do the
5x.
math. Yeah, 5x, right? Yeah. And in about a year. It's been about a year.
A year ago it was 20 grand?
It was about 20 grand about a year ago.
Really?
Maybe a little more, yeah. It's about 20 grand.
I thought it's been high. So a lot of cryptos have kind of matched each other in terms of that.
Then it really shot up to 60, right? Yeah. I like Cardano, which is ADA. My buddy told me to buy.
Back in 2012, I can't remember what the price of Bitcoin was. And I was like, I should have got. And then you were hearing, people had it for, micro pennies, and then I should have got it then because where it is now, I think it was, I don't know what it was. Someone can, I think I want to say it was maybe like 100 or whatever it was back then, 2012. I don't know what the price was, but it was way lower than
something stupid. Now. Yeah, something.
So I should have got some then. But again, it was like a barrier to it. It was like, what do I do? I could have figured it out, and I should have done it, but because of the tip, yeah.
That's the thing. I think, and this is, I really do like to listen to Juan on this stuff. And here's why I like listening to Juan on this stuff. It's because Juan admitted to me directly in an interview, and I don't know if you've ever heard him say this, but he's actually in charge of creating the new monetary system. He's got people working under him with NDAs. Did you know that?
Pass.
He'll verify.
I've heard other people say similar things about their ones,
I always trust but verify, but I do put a lot of faith in Juan in terms of a lot of the things he says, because realistically, we both know a lot of the things he said, though he beats around the bush, he does make some pretty good predictions about stuff. Is he always right? No. I mean, he was saying that there wasn't going to be an election in 2024. We had an election, right? But at the same time, the whole situation. Anyway, my point about Bitcoin was this, is that
I've not heard that one, and I'm not.
Think about the storyline on Bitcoin.
Yeah, I'm not really interested in that one, but I've not heard it. But interested. You're keeping up to date. I haven't listened to anything he said for about
some Japanese guy that
7-8 months.
some Japanese guy that no one's ever seen or heard of, right? Created
Nakamoto.
Yeah, Satoshi Nakamoto.
Yeah.
And he and here's the virtue signaling. And because he was such a great and humane guy, he decided to give away all his Bitcoin for the greater good of humanity. It's like, but hey, take a position. I took a position, and I'm not selling it anytime soon. I think it's about, taking some of the cryptocurrencies, getting to learn those. I'm still learning them. There's all new stuff coming out all the time. You take a position in the precious metals, maybe go into the collectible realm. Like, it's funny, Tom, I do a lot of the Kennedy stuff, collectible.
JFK number plate.
I got my hands on a copy of Profiles in Courage from 1956. Kennedy's book, President Kennedy's book, Profiles in Courage.
Huh, I didn't know that. Okay.
I got a copy of it signed by Kennedy and authenticated.
Nice.
So, like, something like that, I feel like, hey, that's a great place to store your money too. We don't even have to just talk about gold, silver, cryptos. I think, with what your audience understands about, okay, JFK Jr., go out and buy some George magazines. Like, here's a little tip off I'd tell your audience. Go on eBay right now. Type in George magazine spy issue. Right? It's got that actress, I forget her name. She's, it's like a James Bond cover. It's a spy issue.
Okay.
Go buy that magazine. You can find them on eBay right now for $40. There's comms in that magazine. It's like the real George magazine that took off is a survival guide, right? You can't get a survival guide for less than, in good condition, $2,000.
Yeah.
But these other ones haven't taken off yet because people haven't figured out that, hey, there's stuff in these things too. I think that's a great place to store money.
Yeah.
And you have a really cool piece of history, right? So I'm fluid too. I don't just go around banging people over the head with gold and silver. I say, hey, let me help consult you, and I do it for free. Let me help consult you. Here, get this magazine, get this coin over here. Get that right. There's some Kennedy coins out there that are really like one of a kind. I show people where to get this stuff, and they're like, where have you been my whole life?
Yeah.
So
you always show me, basically, you're a great collector of all that stuff.
Yeah, I've done well. I've done very well, and I have fun with it. It's cool.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. If you can invest, and you can make, or invest, stroke, earn your profession in something that you enjoy, makes a lot of difference. I mean, President Trump is a big advocate of that. He says, do what you love, and you'll be good at it. And I know loads of other people say, well, just make money first and then do it. And it's like, well, that's putting things off. It's like, I mean, the main guy says, find something that you really enjoy and love, and then you'll be successful at it. And it might take time, but it's like, do something that you love.
Yeah. I mean, look what Rachel's doing. Rachel, she's delving into the old George magazines. I mean, do you watch her videos? I mean, I think she produces.
Oh, yeah,
I tell her,
I haven't seen them for a while, but I've seen plenty of them. Yeah.
I think her videos are some of the best videos ever made on those subjects. Like, I always tell her, I'm like, your videos remind me of, do you remember American Prophet? Did you ever watch this series? It's kind of like,
I think so.
It was definitely the team communicating to us.
Was it?
But it would just be like music and then imagery to tell a story about what's happening.
Yeah.
And they had different series. They had the JFK Jr. Live series. They had the what was it? Couple different ones. And these things were just done so perfectly using the imagery. And that's what she's doing now with her videos.
Yeah.
And she's like you said,
very good at that. That's the thing, because she was passionate about it. So what Rachel, people probably know it, but I met her and her family, and she wanted to invite me to meet the family. I went there for dinner, and
it's awesome.
And then I was like, well, you should get on. And so I persuaded her to, and then I kept promoting her for, I don't know, 6, 8, 9 months, just kept, got on all the shows. And that's how she grew. And then she got this niche of doing, I always say to a story time to Rachel, but she's reading the George magazine. And then she started to work for the new one, and then she's not with them now. But that's how but in terms of producing her videos and all that, she's brilliant at that. She's got
really
a good niche, and she's very good in terms of the technical producing the content. The production on her shows are really good. But she started off with the passion for it, so she was already interested in it without. Because I remember her saying to me, "I don't know, what would I do on a show? I'm not sure what to do." You know, she was like, she didn't feel like she could say anything. She didn't know what to do. And I was like, "Well, just," and then she'd start reading it, you know, and then she obviously does other stuff where she'll talk a bit more about. But she literally was, I can produce a show, I can film it and get edited, and I can read from the magazine because that's what I'm passionate about. And so it worked. But she started off with the passion for it. And then I know we got put together and I helped to send her off on her way so she could fly out the nest. And then it was like, you know, but she could do the mechanics of making a good presentable video, but on something that she had already a passion about prior to even meeting me, you know. So that's how it works, you know.
I'll give you some interesting background. When she was at George, we were trying to get a hold of this guy Daniel.
45 Daniel. Yeah.
Well, this guy, he's got national. You can still find his channel, I believe. It's on Rumble. It's either on Rumble or BitChute, but it's called National Notables. And Daniel was doing the digs on George Magazine years ago. Like, I'm talking 6-7 years ago.
Yeah.
And we were trying to get him to come on board with them. Okay. But he never responded. And I think he became like a pastor or something. So I think he just said to heck with everybody and just went into that world, which I highly respect. But at the same time, Daniel from National Notables, if you watch some of his old George Magazine digs, really, I mean, he did an unbelievable job. Rachel does equally as great a job. You know, she's kind of carrying that torch. But Daniel was kind of the OG when it came to that. He was fantastic. He never responded to any of my messages, so whatevs.
That's what happens in the truther movement. That's what happens. No, I say it. I'm joking, but I'm not. I'm telling the truth. That's what happens. You know, that's what happens. Buddy. Don't take it personally, because I've had. You know, that's what happens. I don't. You think everyone's flying on the same thing?
Exactly.
And it's not. It's unfortunately, you know, as President Trump says, he says he's loyal to people to a hilt, and then when they're not loyal to him, he takes it as a personal insult, and it's like, I know what you mean, President. I know what you mean.
Yeah. I can relate.
Yeah,
but I feel like our movement's evolving though.
It's evolving. It's expanding. It's evolving. But it's like loyalty is probably I mean, there's love in the universe, but loyalty is like right up there. You know, you can't 100%. Be loyal. You know, it's so strange. And that's one of the things I resonate with President Trump on so many everything. But that's one of the things I'm like, I know exactly what you're talking about there, because I've even had it in this. Anyway, we won't dwell on that, but there's no surprise that you just wheat and the tares. There's wheats and tares within wheats and tares. Put it that way, you know.
I think what I'm going to start doing, not to go back to my business, but I think what I'm going to start doing is custom making coins. You know, I have a source that, you know, kind of like what Juan does with his you know, Magador coin or Melania coin, right? You've seen those. I'm in touch with a refiner and some designers, and I'm thinking about putting out, you know, we should do like a Tom Numbers coin. I'm serious.
I've thought about that. I have thought about that. Yeah.
You know, do like a limited run of 50. Get, you know, because what you can do, it costs a little bit more to do it, but you can get them each individually numbered.
Yeah, I have thought about that. I spoke to a friend of mine. I thought about it before, and then there was a guy that I know. His son's a marketer, and he was saying, "Oh, jewelry," and I was like, "Yeah, jewelry, coins." You know, I was like, "Yeah."
Wouldn't that be fun? Do like a little Tom Numbers coin giveaway while we're talking like this. You know, be like, hey, you know,
could do, yeah.
I like doing stuff like that. Yeah. A lot of your viewers, when they've come and done business with me, I always send like an old George magazine or a coin. Yeah, I always do something cool.
How can people find you, Matt? What's the best way for them to get?
I would say the number I advertise is actually is a cell phone number. You know, I have office lines and things like that, but I know people
really put in the chat in the description.
Sometimes people
just like title.
Sometimes people just like to text me and be like, "Hey, Matt, you busy? You know, can we catch up? I got a 401k. Can you take a look at this? Blah blah blah." You know, I try to make myself accessible by phone, and I'm not a big company. Like, I'm not trying to be one of these big conglomerates. You know, as you know, and I'll kind of give myself a little plug here. I do this business very differently than everybody, right?
Yes.
It's sure, you can call me up and buy gold and silver. We'll ship it to your doorstep, right? FedEx, fully insured, signature required, right? If somebody jacked your package off, you're not on the hook for that. It's insured, right? You have to sign for it. That's easy, right? That's easy to do. I got great prices on stuff. I have a great source on Silver Eagle, so my Silver Eagle pricing is like pretty much unbeatable.
Yeah.
Especially when you do volume with me. But the IRA side, the whole IRA side is like, I think this gold industry, we've seen a number of gold companies where they're not delivering the gold for IRAs.
Yeah,
right?
they just it's another fractional reserve banking scam that they're doing.
I think it's just greed, because keep in mind the physical gold industry that I work in is completely unregulated, right? There's
Right.
no CFTC.
People need to get, when you get it, Matt will, the only option is for him to get it delivered to you, signed and delivered.
I can get IRA, exactly. I'll get your IRA gold and silver delivered to you, right?
Yeah.
Delivered right to your door, so you can actually inspect it.
Now you have it, and it's not somewhere in some mountain or in some garage.
Look, if people want to
a few states away.
If people want to self-store it, that's up to them. You're supposed to use a depository for compliance purposes, right? But what I do is I just do some legwork and I'll go find a depository close by to somebody. Or, maybe your bank and you've banked there for 30 years, everybody there. You go get a safety deposit box there. It's right down the street from your house. If you ever needed access to it during a time of need, boom, you just walk down the street, drive down the street, get to your bank, take your stuff out. I think what's happening in this industry, and I have no proof of this, this is just my theory, is that I think a lot of these gold owners, when they have these big companies, these guys are generating probably tens of millions of dollars a month.
Yeah.
Right. And some CEOs sitting there saying, hey, I'm going to go build this house. I'm going to go get this property over here. I'm going to go buy this car. I'm going to go buy this boat.
Yeah.
And what happens is they get behind in orders. So what winds up happening is,
I've heard that. I've heard people have done that.
There's been some in the news, right? You can Google this.
I've heard that. Yeah. Yeah.
And I can tell you this is what happens with these companies is that they get behind on these orders. So now these guys are in a position where the new business coming in is paying for the business that was already in, right?
Yeah.
And they get themselves in this kind of death cycle is what I would call it. And they get behind on orders. So it's like if the music stops, right, there's going to be a bunch of people that are without chairs.
Yeah.
And figuratively speaking. So I think it's very important to really know that when you work with me, it's a very personal relationship that I have with people. I oversee it myself.
Yeah.
I document everything. I get people shipping labels. Like I said, if it's IRA stuff, we can ship it right to you, and we can send it to traditional depositories. I think they're fine. I don't think there's any problem there, but we'll get you paperwork saying, hey, here's what we sent there. Here's your invoice. Here's all the shipping labels. Maybe even give them a call. Just, hey, double check. Did the stuff go in there?
Don't see it. Yeah. Go and get
one of my depositories that I work with, where if somebody doesn't want to go to the major ones, if people want to go to more of a private one, but maybe it's not in their home state, they video record and send you a video of your stuff, the box being opened up, right? Getting a call. I'll call you back. They'll get an actual video of their box being opened up that you can hold on to, be like, hey, this is my stuff.
Yeah.
So I give people the ability to verify it. And most importantly is the gold and silver gets ordered instantly. A lot of these companies, they sit on orders to get the best price. Look, if I make an extra 10 cents an ounce, I don't care, right? I'll get the order out instantly. So it's really, my business can't handle, I couldn't be on every podcasting station out there getting a million calls throughout the day. I would have to start hiring people, which I'm open to doing, but I want to keep it small and kind of one-on-one, because I know our community, patriots, truthers, I think they'll want to come to somebody like me, because I'm one of you, I'm one of them. That's all it is, right? I just happen to have very good resources for buying gold and silver, right? Yeah. That's what I can offer.
Well, the thing is, you'll always be available afterwards as well. So if people got questions, it's all well and good selling them something, then they disappear. It's like, no, you can't do that,
Exactly right. Yeah, I'm here to stay. And I know the gold and silver business is not going to be out there forever. So, get it while you can in terms of, your supply, your inventory for yourself.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens. I mean, no one really knows what's going to happen. I don't try to predict anything, but I do think that these next couple months are going to be very intense and very trying on all of us.
Well, as President Trump said, the golden age starts now. So why not get yourself some gold And if not, get yourself some silver or a bit of both. So cool, Matt. Give him a call. Well, buddy,
it's
been great to see you.
You too, Tom.
The sun is shining over there. I want to get over to the States this year, so when I do,
well, you got a place to stay, man.
I'll come and see. Yeah, I love it.
I got a real nice guest room set up. You know, I've had people.
I'll come.
You know, not from your show, but it's funny, man. Like a lot of my clients, we get to know each other personally, and it's like we become friends. And next thing you know, they're out here visiting. So I'm having fun with it, man.
Yeah, I like it, man. My buddy Chad, I've known for years, is out there, and he's in Mesa. How far are you from Mesa?
About an hour, probably less with no traffic.
He's Las Sandas, so he's out on the golf course.
Okay.
Out on that estate there. So, yeah. Chad Howie. He's probably not watching, but I'll send him to so he can.
Well, he is. Hey, Chad.
Yeah, but he's in the. I'll tell you up, but me and him were in a film recently, so
that's
another story. But the synchronicities pop up. We were in the front of a Hugh Grant film. Tam and Chad. We knew each other in Scotland. The Scottish name for Tom is Tam, and it was Chad and Tam at the top of this callback list on the first 5 minutes of the film. I was like, there we are. And it was about the thing that we knew. It was about the subject that we got together in the first place on. So anyway, my viewers know about that one. They know about that. So cool, buddy. Well, I'm excited. You know what? I'm just full of. I'm really excited. I don't know how. The one thing with it was I don't know how and what the storm will and how it will come about. I thought the storm would have happened by now. But storm in numbers is 85, awakening. Silver is 85. And so who knows that? And one thing as well, people don't need to live in fear, because President Trump said yesterday when he pointed to the military, said central casting. It was a reminder that all of this is central casting. So markets are controlled. Everything is controlled, but I believe by good guys. And people that pump fear into people, I think it's not on. Personally, 100%. I don't think it's. I've been in this game for nearly 5 years now, and I've met many, many people. And as soon as I get being pumped with fear from influencers, I'm like, I'm not into that.
No,
and thanks. I don't want my audience to be into that. 1,000% with President Trump, because he's never negative about anything. He's always this, and he always comes up top Trump. So even people that we think and trust, I've learned to just Fugazi, just let that go.
100%.
But with that, still get in ahead, get in. President Trump's got all these opportunities. Like, you can get his NFT cards, you can get gold items with him. So he's given us a heads up. Get in and do these things, and gold and silver is in his name. 138 is Donald Trump, which is the gold reset. Donald John Trump is 185, the silver reset. So he's telling everyone to get yourself gold and silver. But it's always about 100% faith and 100% positivity, no negativity, and particularly when it comes from key so-called players in the movement, I'm not interested. I'm not interested in it.
Me neither.
I'm not interested in it. I don't want my audience to be interested in it, because it's not going to serve them. So, but now the man is back in charge, and we're charging towards victory, and no fear porn from the Trump camp or from me. So. Get your gold and silver, because it'll be an asset. It's going to grow. It's going to be a store of value. Whatever's coming, it will be a store of value. And silver is probably going to, at one point, it will boomerang super high again. So get your cool, Matt, and get on that. Yeah. Good stuff, buddy. Elf.
Thank you, Tom. Good seeing you. Thanks to your audience. Man. Thank you, Diane. Very nice of you. Sweet. Very sweet.
Diane's great. Actually, Diane, give Matt a call. Diane is great.
Just a chat. Just say hi. I don't mind. I don't mind just chatting with people.
Send him a text. Say hi. Ask his advice on collectibles, silver and gold. Just say hello. So I'm glad Diane's in here, because I think I said to her to give him a call. I was meaning to anyway. So yeah.
Well, cool. Thank you, Tom. Always a pleasure.
See you next week, buddy. So next week we'll be over past the inauguration, all the fluctuations. So next week will be 5 p.m. UK.
Cool.
And
10 a.m. my time.
Arizona time. So that's our slot. Monday morning we start. And another caveat with this is Monday in numbers is 72, which is money 72, and it's also first. So it's the first day of the week. Well, Sunday, but it's the first day of the working week, and it's Monday, and it's first, and it's money. So that's why we're in the show with Matt. So
sounds great. Thanks, my man.
See you, everyone.
God bless everyone.
Matt. Take care, buddy.
Take care.
All right. Bye. Bye.